Well, here we are again. Drama and Wuthering Waves just seem to go hand in hand, don't they? Oh my god, there's so many soft pussies in this community that somebody's opinion gets them bent all out of shape. When I'm talking about the community here, guys, I just want to make sure that you understand that I'm talking about the vocal minority, not the entirety of the community. Most people in the space are pretty freaking chill. I'm talking about the rabid vocal minority, just like the Genshin community, and actually parroting some of the statements and arguments and actions as well as the old Genshin community. It's kind of funny to witness also again. So if you don't know, Marco has been the focus of the ire of the Wuthering Waves community this time. Last time it was the Genshin community for daring to have an opinion. This time it's because he has had a blasphemous opinion regarding Wuthering Waves. Because remember, opinions are not allowed here. It's like the Imperium of Man, right? It's a heretic is detected. They need to be exterminated. Actually going to fucking world. But at the same time, I talk about this in a serious kind of note, but I don't want you guys to go away because you're fucking cinema. You are. All I suggest is go touch some titty, go touch some grass, and maybe you won't feel some kind of way about people posting their opinions online regarding your favourite gacha game. You need to hop off a Solong's lap, pull him out your mouth, and you might actually find yourself just enjoying games again and not being twisted up by people having opinions on the game. So apparently Marco was full on doom posting because he insinuated that if Frolova becomes a 180 switch, which is not really a 180 switch because she's not exactly an evil character, she's a bit more of a grey character, does a switch and becomes part of the Rova harem after she spits some vocal jutsu on her and makes a fold like a cheap garden chair, that she'll be part of the harem. And he said that if that happens, I don't ever want that. And I might even consider not spending my money or spending my time on the game, i.e. hopping off, playing something else. Oh, wow, yeah, oof. Not allowed, not allowed. You can't state things like that, right? Because that's doom posting now, which I don't think it is, right? He's like kind of working on theory crafting, right? But we do that in games, right? We talk about things that are going to happen in the future, what might come to pass and how that might affect our viewpoint of the game. And just saying that, hey, I might not play the game anymore doesn't mean you're doom posting, my opinion. Doom posting for me is if you're thinking, you're talking about the game EOSing, you're kind of putting it down all the time, acting like it's a bad thing all the time. Just stating that if this happens, it's not really for me and I might kind of hop off the train. I don't see that as doom posting. It's just somebody stating their opinion. And then he goes on to speak about fan service as well, which he's just not a bit of a fan of as a 37-year-old man. Personally, like a bit of fan service, but I can understand, you know, I don't want too much of it and I definitely don't want to interfere in with good writing, good character development and stuff like that. But I do have to say, based on Miranda in Mass Effect 2, best game ever. And oh my God, she was smoking. Love that game. So super based by Marco there. And then he goes on to kind of like basically say, more bad, it's not your bad, dude. It's weirdos on the internet getting butthurt because you had an opinion. Whether or not it was maybe a little bit extreme to say, I'm going to quit the game, right? Sometimes story is incredibly important to some people, right? They want a good experience for the story. And I've got to admit, there's been parts of the story in Wuthering Waves that have been rough, right? Rover's super boring. There's been parts of 1.0 that was pretty rough to get through. So it's not like, oh, all of a sudden we've had a 10 out of 10 story and then, oh, that's it, man. That's the straw that broke the camel's back. But again, this is just somebody's opinion on subjective matters. As I say, go touch grass, man. Trust me, get laid, and this won't seem that deep to you. Perfect example right here, guys, okay? Perfect example right here. Guy who is supposed to be a story and lore enjoyer doesn't know or conveniently forgot plot points and lore tidbits in the game he's doing posting about. Sounds about right. Yeah, because everybody stays online all the time, keeping themselves up to date with lore tidbits and plot points from 1.0. 1.0, when the story was dog shit, most people were just falling asleep through the story through 1.0. I was one of the people who was a little bit easier on the story in 1.0, actually. But even I can recognise it's kind of freaking rough. So if you don't remember that and you can't have an opinion right, you can't theory craft potential things that might happen. And although they haven't come to pass yet, which is a good point to state, it's still, you know, something to talk about. And if this happens, not a fan of it. Oh, well, hey, dude, Did you remember that one thing from 1.0? No. Shut the fuck up then. It's just really kind of weird, you know, posting a picture here. A dude saying, I think being playable will time with this, you know, again, from 1.0, fair point though. And then that'd been cool, super cool. I forgot about this. So you don't remember this, which is pretty iconic at the time. You care about how the story goes to the point that you would quit if all of a sudden it turned good. Which Scar already mentioned it long ago. I don't know, man. I usually love your content, but this is kind of, which, all right, whatever. Fair, right? It's kind of respectful the way they've gone about it. But, like, this, I don't ever think this was that iconic, really. It was okay. I don't really think anything from 1.0 was actually iconic in Wuthering Waves' story, if I'm honest. I've got to be honest as well. There's been plenty of aura farming moments in Wuthering Waves, but there's nothing been iconic, you know? Nothing really been iconic. You know, pointing out stuff like this, I didn't even know this existed in regard to stuff like horns and mutation, similar to Gian and Mortifi scales. I don't really tell you this up front, but you can find information in the game. We do know that this is true, that people can get mutations from their resonance abilities and all that sort of stuff, and their awakenings and stuff with overclocking and all that sort of stuff. And even I can't remember half the stuff in the game, man, you know? But I've still got an opinion on the game, and I will still continue to have an opinion on the game. And if your argument is, well, you forgot that one thing from the character information in the menu, then shut the fuck up. It's like, dude, seriously, that's so cringe. It's not doom posting, he's just stating his opinion. Yeah, right, announcing you quit the game over what ifs isn't doom posting. Can we stop being paranoid for once? Like, what the hell? It's so tiring to see the same cycle all over again and again. Can we stop being paranoid for once? Like, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? I keep seeing this argument made as well. This seems to be a common comment that I see over and over again. It's the same cycle. Before a patch comes out, people doom posting. I think people just talk about the game, and people who want to look for doom posting just find it everywhere because they see something critical. Right, hyper focusing on it. Super weird, super cringe. As I say, touch grass. This won't seem that deep. Another comment here. My only problem is Western CCs like Ryuko and Marco that use their influence to try to influence the direction from developers. I think we all do this, right? We all want to hopefully maybe influence the game to the way we want to see the game be, and hope that the things that we think are thought the same by other players as well, and hopefully the developers take this feedback on board. Thank God that Kuro actually listened to feedback and don't think like this person here, because this is old school Genshin thought process. The same arguments, the same attitudes. This is why a lot of these people are refugees from Genshin, man. I'm adamant of it, you know? I'm adamant of it. They're no different than CC's player base that make Kuro change their 1.0 story. That was on Kuro, really, taking a very small minority of CM players and adjusting the story and making it a bit more Genshin-fied, right? But if you say that to people, they'll go mental. They'll go mental. Just let the developers cook. I've been hearing that for a year now as well. Same sort of shit that came out of the Genshin community. If they don't like the story, just stop playing. If you don't like the story later, after that, we stop playing. So basically, if you don't like it, just quit. If we don't like it, we'll quit. Let's just filter everybody until there's nobody left, and at least we can say the devs didn't have to listen to us. But then we have this whole meme that when the devs listened. I don't want what to happen to 1.0 again just because some people influence. Little addition there, right? You know, I want the devs to listen to feedback and implement their views, right? I don't, at the end of the day, us as gamers are really good at talking about problems, less better about implementing solutions. But that's where we offer, this is a problem, they come up with a solution. But to just say, you shouldn't talk about the problems, shut the fuck up, is such a stupid, like I say, old school Genshin way of talking in regards to criticism of the game. This is exactly why there was a vacuum in Genshin 1. Puyo don't listen as much as Kuro, I think is fair to say. But I think if you start to create this kind of idea that you don't want the devs to listen, and a lot of people are super vocal every time somebody speaks up, you probably are going to kind of like groom the devs into thinking, well, should we not listen to people? You know? It's just so stupid and asinine. You know, people should be critical about the game, and having opinions about subjective stuff is really normal. Do you know what? You can still like content creators and disagree with them. You stop being so parasocial with content creators and the companies in games. I know that you can't really be parasocial with a game and a company, but let's just roll with it. You know, you probably wouldn't get like this. You know, like people put so much into what content creators say, which you shouldn't. Just like me, all the other big content creators as well, are just normal dudes who happen to get some traction. I'm talking about them getting traction. I haven't. They're no different from you. Their opinions mean no more or no less than yours. And you should take them like any random dude on Reddit. Well, maybe not Reddit, but you know what I mean. And stop acting like their opinions are somehow lesser than because they are a content creator, and they should just shut the fuck up. It's weird. They're not lesser than or more than. They're just a dude who makes content. Stop being parasocial with them. Stop being really attached to the video games you're playing. Go touch some titty. Go touch some grass. This won't seem that deep to you, and you'll feel a lot better about the whole thing, if I'm honest. This is just really weird. Again, somebody has an opinion about something, and they feel like they have to follow up, just like people did back in the day with Genshin. Yeah. And you can't tell me that the Wuthering Waves community isn't almost Genshin 2.0. I'm sorry. There's too many refugees over here now, you know? People say it's Huyo shills undercover. No, it's just people who used to play Huyo games who are Kuro bots now. They're not astroturfers. They're not brigaders. It's just bad parts of the community that are really loud and really want to just go after anybody who's got a dissenting view, right? Even if you disagree with this, you might think, well, did he have to say it? Is that the community want? Well, shut the fuck up if you unless you've got nothing nice to say. Is that what we're saying? Like, it's a game, man. It's not your nan, you know? It's super weird. Super weird. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section, guys, because at the same time, I don't want you to go anywhere, you weirdos, because you give me so much stuff to laugh at. It is actually hilarious, but I suppose it doesn't feel so great when you're a content creator getting attacked by the crazies. But it's still kind of funny though. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section, guys, about this whole situation. Another CC attacked for having an opinion. Not allowed. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all in the next one.